Hello, welcome back. Today we're talking about the question, how does one become an individual? My last video was all about why can no one be an individual and talked about the connections, the world today, and the individuality crisis. This is going to be my little answer to becoming an individual. Now, to preface, this is the preachings of a hypocrite. I am a hypocrite. I'm comfortable with my individuality, but I admit that I do not fit the qualities of this ideal individual that I will be talking about today. This is going to be like a more like Plato-esque, like world of forms ideal individual type idea. Not fully attainable, but it's like something you can strive for. So, an individual, ideally, following my prior ideas, following all the ideas that were stated in my previous video, is someone who doesn't care about how they are perceived by others. They don't care about building a following. They don't care about following the trends. They don't care about what people say about them. They only care about bettering themselves and the people around them and coming up with original ideas that will help them better, that will help to better or better understand the world. They do what they feel comfortable doing and what they truly desire to do. They don't let anyone's words or actions affect their autonomy. That is what, in my opinion, an individual is. In saying that, I'm not saying that an individual can't use social media, can't post about their life, or can't buy something that is trending. Because I'm not saying that an individual has to be outcasted from the world, has to separate themselves from the people and the world around them. They can't separate themselves from the system. An individual should want to separate themselves from the system, but realistically, and according to my prior video about if you should hate yourself for following and contributing to the society that you're born into, they can't just escape it. They can't just not interact with anything around them. What I am saying is that to be an individual, you have to have a unique outlook on your life and your actions. You have to have a strong sense of self-awareness. You have to be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it and how it affects yourself and the people in the world around you. An individual has to care about the interactions they have with the world, but they have to do it according to their personal beliefs and their personal outlook, which, if you're an individual, it's going to be positive. I know that this can seem like I'm trying to create like a supervillain who doesn't care about anyone around them and wants to like destroy the society that they're in. That is not what I'm talking about. In my opinion, if anyone's able to reach this like true ideal version of being an individual, they're going to recognize the corruption in the society and the corruption in negative ideas. They're gonna do what's right if they're truly an individual. And this is my ideal world of forms individual. That's what they're gonna do. It's not gonna backfire because we're talking like idealists here. An individual needs to be looking at the impact that you have on the picture, on the painted picture, not just the way you look in the picture or the way that people are looking at you. An individual can't be focused on that. They need to be looking at the entire picture. It's a basic saying, but you have to look at the big picture. An individual doesn't just look at the big picture. The individual analyzes and recognizes the way that the picture works and the reason that it works. An individual is someone who is comfortable, going back to the comfortability thing, talked about it in our last video. An individual is someone who's comfortable being alone with their thoughts because they know that they have unique, interesting thoughts and they don't have to rely on the thoughts of others. An individual needs to be able to come up with original thoughts and be able to fully flesh it out in their head without having to search something up on Google, without having to talk to AI, without having to talk to other people even though I admit and I recognize, and I wrote this down, and talking with other people enhances and refines an individual's ideas. I think that talking with other people is one of the best ways to flesh out an idea. But an individual doesn't necessarily need that to make a good idea. It's not going to be the best idea ever, but they can have good ideas on their own. An individual's thoughts have to be able to stand alone. So I would say that if I had to give a simple answer to the question of how to become an individual, the key to becoming an individual is like getting rid of the concept of influence in your life. An individual has to reach a state where you don't care about others' influence on you or your influence on others. An individual has to be fully just confident in themselves. I'm not saying that an individual isn't able to have self-confidence issues, but you have to be confident in your state of individuality. You have to be confident that you can function as your own person without the help of others or without the help of the internet or artificial intelligence, God forbid. If you want to be an individual, start by having conversations with yourself. Talk it out like I'm talking now. Write it down like I wrote this down originally. Anything. You could be like a crazy person. You could pull up the hands like I did in my 2 videos back. This is what's going to help you find the individual in yourself. You're not going to be able to find it if you can't have conversations by yourself. You need to be original. You need to have a good brain in you. And then you can maybe get closer to that ideal world of forms image of an individual. But taking any of these steps and being aware of how society influences your individuality and just striving to really and it sounds bad to not care about something. You have to strive to just not care. You have to try to not care. And that's how you're going to become an individual. You should care about the bad things that are being done around you, obviously. But you can't care about how others are perceiving you or the influence and how you interact with others. You just have to care that nobody is being hurt in the process. So that's my little thing. Hopefully it helps you if you're having a bit of an individuality crisis right now. And yeah, goodbye.